Hey, it's Scott once again, and today I want to talk about a concept that will really impact you head coaches at a high school level, but it's going to quote unquote trickle down to your lower level coaches, middle school, grade school coaches, club coaches, youth coaches. I guess I'm saying this topic's for everybody, but I'm first and foremost talking to head coaches. The rest of you don't leave. I'll be with you in a second. But you head coaches, how are you getting to those younger kids in your community and in your program? Those kids that are being coached by these other coaches that I'm talking to as well. How are you connecting with them? What types of programs are you either doing or are you trying to get to those people who are doing them? Because I think that's a really critical component. For all my years as a basketball coach, especially early on, I didn't do it all that much with the grade school kids other than hosting basketball camps in the summer. That was a huge thing though, as I look back on it. That was a really big thing. It was a way to start some connection. But there's so many more things that we can do to help create that type of program that we're trying to create. And quite honestly, coaches, if you plan on being successful and if you plan on being at a place for any length of time, you really need to get those younger kids growing and building their skills and coming on board, because they are the future of your program. And if you've had nothing to do with them until they walk through the doors at your high school, I don't know if it's too late, but it might be. And so start that process. I still see kids in my community, kids, they're probably in their 30s and all now, who came to my camps when they were little kids, didn't even play in the program eventually, but I recognize them as kids who were in our camps. You start building relationships with kids early on. So I think that's a critical piece. Here's another thing to do. Create your own program. At the school I was at in the state of Washington, I was an athletic director, and our girls basketball coach, Andy, great coach, has had a great run through the last 15 or so years, just retired from coaching this year, but one of the best coaches I have ever known. He started a little dribblers program, he called it, right away when he took over as our girls basketball coach. And it made a huge impact and huge difference in their program. No wonder they went to the state tournament just about every year over the course of his tenure there, and had great success in that program because he started young with them. And he knew he had to put in the time. It had to come from him. Even though he's the varsity head coach, he needed to be involved in these kids' lives early on. And so he'd do this little dribblers 1 or 2 days during the week after school, have them in the gym and just working on skills, and then let them play some games. And then on Saturdays, I don't know, 4 or 5 Saturdays over the course of a month or two, he'd bring in schools doing similar things, and they'd play games against each other, getting that excitement, but also teaching them the skills. Whatever sport you coach, it's critical that you get involved early in their lives so that you can start to create that continuity and create a program. But here's the other way that's so critical to you creating that kind of continuity and success, and that is, let's get to those younger level coaches. Are you working with your JV and your freshman coaches? Are you working with your 7th and 8th grade coaches? How about grade school coaches or youth coaches in your community, club coaches? Do you have a relationship with them? My gosh, we in the school world, sometimes feel it's like this with the club coaches. Why? Why not start building relationships with them? Why not start trying to find ways, bring them into your program, at least invite them in to see how you do things. Not to say, okay, now you need to do this, but say, here's how we do things. Here's the things I would love to see these kids doing, so when they get to our level, they've already got some of those skills. Not telling them what they have to run and all that. Let them still have their autonomy. But let's make sure we're doing things to build these bridges with these coaches. I talk about this a bit more in my ebook, Building Your Coaching Staff Chemistry, and we really work on this in the presentation of the same name, Building Your Coach Staff Chemistry. It's a workshop that I do at schools and with teams and with leagues. If you're interested in this topic, you should check out the ebook, and then let me know, and I'd love to come work with you in your school or you in your community on this, because this is such a critical piece to the success of any school program, let alone any community youth athletic program. So coaches, start building those relationships, start doing what you need to do to build those types of relationships and get your program moving in the direction that you're seeking it to go. And like I say, if you're interested, check out my ebook at greatresourcesforcoaches.com. Or better yet, contact me through the website or at scott@greatresourcesforcoaches.com and set up, you can set up a workshop for me to come in and work with your coaches and the coaches in your community. We love to bring them all in, not just your school coaches, but bring in your youth coaches and your club coaches and bring in the grade school and the middle school coaches, and let's get everybody on board. So we're all doing this for the reason that we're supposed to be doing it, to help kids have a great experience throughout their their years of playing in athletics. Hope you like this message. Hope you like this concept. We'll talk to you again next time.